has a bad budget, so they only have AC in the summer. So they have to have all the windows and doors open to keep the building cool, and then fucking animals are coming in there. Like, how did the bear get in there? Right? You think a kid let it in? A kid's like, hey, come on in. There's no way we're having class with a bear in there. Actually, that's pretty, that might be an interesting new tactic. A way to skip class. Just let wild animals into the school. Because there's no way you could have class if there's like, you know, if there's like a fucking, like a mountain lion in the back of the class. The teacher's probably not going to teach the class. And then, you know, they take time to get it out of there, so you skip your class. Oh. All right. Maybe that's what it was. Huh.
Thankfully, there was no damage to the room except for one of the classroom's earthquake kits that contained, of course, snacks. School staff then reviewed safety measures with the first day of class about a week away. Definitely do not want a bear stroll in.
Oh, that's right. It's the middle of the summer. There is no class right now. Maybe they just did have everything open because there's no kids in there. But, I mean, that's scary. I mean, you got to ask the question, all right? Why is a bear coming into a classroom? That's bad. That means that probably the bear's natural habitat has been encroached upon. So now it has to kind of stretch itself out in the radius of where it looks for food. And now it's going to start coming into the city and stuff. That's bad. They should investigate why that happened. Because the bear should not be just walking into a human building like that. Right? To eat the children. Well, as of now, we haven't had any, like, bear feasting epidemics in the United States, to my knowledge. There's nothing wrong with the bear doing its own thing. And obviously, if you see a bear, you should leave it alone. But it shouldn't be walking into the human building. Like, what happened? Is it, you know, did some idiotic developer decide to develop, you know, a 10-block radius of buildings and shit in the middle of where it would have been a forest where this bear would have lived? And now it has nowhere to go, so it has to, like, go to the city to look for food and stuff. It's kind of weird, no? Oh, well, at least it happened when there was no kids there. Okay, next video.
Alright, so get this. Yesterday, my mom took me to the vet just because my breath smelled so bad. Can you believe that? I cannot catch a break around here. Ever since my mom got pet insurance, she takes me to the vet for everything. She always lets me get a puppuccino afterwards, though, so I'll let it slide for now.
Don't let cost keep you from saying yes to the vet. With Pets Plus Us, you can be reimbursed up to 90% of eligible vet bills. Visit petsplusus.com and get a quote today.
They all want the same thing. Fast, unlimited fiber internet from TechSavvy. Visit TechSavvy.com to learn more.
So relieved to not have to fucking make the games anymore. And he's like, I can't wait to move on to the next chapter of my life. So what he's been doing, he's been making YouTube videos. I've never seen them, but this will be the first one that I ever check out. So let's see what he's talking about. Marketing? Okay. Sales strategy. Okay.
ゲームの企画をする際、あるいはそれを上司にプレゼンする場合、ターゲット層を明確にせよなんてことをよく言われるようです。どういう層
For example, if you're a content creator on the internet, right? And you're going to make your content, but the first thing you do is you dye your hair bright blue and you talk and scream in like a cartoonish voice, you know your target market is children, right? Or let's say, for example, you would put on sunglasses and a big fake wig and a vest and a big like neon color, like a red shirt, and you act like you're like a discount G.I. Joe, and you talk stupid and you act like an idiot on your streams, you understand that your target audience is children, right? That's what he's saying. He's like, know who your target audience is. When you make content, it's the same as being a Nintendo game developer. You have to know who the Okay.
を中心に売りたいのかをはっきりとさせるということ。主に年齢と性別、あるいは思考などで区分されます。
Age, gender, and taste, okay.
同じようにソフトがどの層に支持されているのか、マーケティングによって緻密に綿密にデータ化されています。任天堂の作品においても驚くほど細かいデータが得られていますね。
That's interesting.
つまり、
how would Nintendo get that data? Like, you don't know who bought your game, do you? How would you even know that? If someone goes physically to the store and buys it, I mean, let's say, for example, Super Mario Wonder that just came out last fall. I bought it, and I'm 42 years old. Well, I was 41 years old at the time. But kids probably wanted it. And so their parents bought it for them. But is that a purchase by the adult or is that a purchase by the child? Most children would never buy a game. Someone buys it for them. So how would you tell who the intended target audience is for the game that you develop if all the sales data just shows a bunch of adults buying it? And also, how would you ever know from the point of sale transactions, like if you go to the store and buy it, how would you know who bought it? How would you get that data? I mean, for that matter, even online purchases, how would you know who it is that bought that game? I mean, you know the name, but you don't necessarily know any information about that person, do you? I wonder how they get their sales data.
支持が厚いターゲット層がある。そしてそこに狙いを定めて、あるいは弱い層を補って、商品を売るのが
target market, exactly.
そしてその傾向を調べるのがマーケティングです。本来もっと広い意味ではありますが、ざっくり言えばということで。でもな、ターゲッティングやマーケティングをすることにはもちろん異論はないのだけど、個人的には真面目に考えても仕方があるまいと思っています。もちろんそれが非常に有効な業界もありますが、特にゲームの企画を新しく考えようという場合、真面目に捉えないことをお勧めします。ターゲティングやマーケティングっていうのは既存のものから想定するデータです。これからの道を示してくれるわけではありません。ユーザーの境界線はとても曖昧です。可愛いものが好きな高齢者だっているし、ハードな表現を好む子供もいます。決してどこかで線引きできるものではありません。例えば、
I see. So example, when Mr. Beast has a call to action in his videos or his social media posts and he says, go to the store and look for the Mr. Beast Feastables bars and make sure that they're on the shelf and nicely stocked. And please, make sure it's clean. Make sure the labels are readily available. It's in the right spot so people know the price and everything. And if it's not in stock, please go bug your employees of the store to restock. So when Mr. Beast does that, because he actually has done that, okay? He's basically trying to appeal to children. Because he's like, who would do that, right? First of all, who would even eat a Feastables bar? A gullible child. An adult would never buy one because they're not stupid. But a gullible child would go do that because he wants candy. I love Mr. Beast. And I'm going to do free labor for Mr. Beast. I like him. So they're going to go do that. But, like Sakurai-san here is saying, sometimes those practices carry over to other age groups and demographics. For example, you might have a complete moron who actually thinks Mr. Beast is like a legit content creator. And he'd be like, oh, I'm also going to go do that. Like a 30-year-old dude, you know, might actually go to the store and be like, oh, look, Feastables, and they're not in stock. Let me go harass the store employee to stock the shelf because that's Mr. Beast, and he absolutely should have his product stocked at all times. And they come in with a little brush, and they dust the shelf all around it, and they make sure the tags are there. Sometimes they actually bring new stickers. They're like arrows, and they put it on the shelf pointing to the Feastables so that the guy will actually like go and get the Feastable. You know, you know. But you know, mostly dumb children would do shit like that. I feel like I got on a tangent here. Let's continue.
初代星のカービィは初心者層に向けているゲームですが、私が子供向けなどといったことはありません。初心者には当然のように大人も子供も男も女も含まれます。強いて言うならターゲティングは初心者ということになります。
All right, I can understand that because you don't wanna limit yourself to a certain age range. There may just be people who just don't play games a lot. It's an easy game. It's a beginner game. That makes a lot of sense. Sure.
ただ初心者向けといえどそれなりの手応えがあるし、上級者が操作感を楽しむために遊ぶこともあると思います。一言ではくれない。また、マーケティングはすでに完成しているものに対するデータです。誰かが通った道を事細かに分析するものです。そこには新しい道を切り開くという要素はないわけで、より安全な道はわかると思います。大通り。人がより多く通ったところはわかるわけだから。
So for example, what he's saying here is, let's say for example, Mr. Beast, he does this test where he walks down the street and he grabs a random kid off the street. He says, hey, are you subscribed to me? And the kid goes, yeah, I am. Wow. And he shows him his phone. He goes, oh, well, because you're subscribed to me, here's the $1,000. And the kid goes, wow, really? And he runs off with the $1,000. Now, Mr. Beast, of course, films this uploads it so everyone can see it, right? Now, gullible children believe if you're subscribed to Mr. Beast, you may just get $1,000 out of nowhere by complete luck and chance because he's such a nice guy. So after seeing his subscriptions on YouTube skyrocket as an actual result of this very deceptive, very, very predatory practice, then he realizes, well, I can do other predatory things to children and I can get away with them and I'll just profit. So then he does things like he sells merch and says, I'll sign every shirt, and he doesn't. Other people forge his signature. And then he has like, you know, these like fund-a-thon. Oh, buy the merch. And there's a chance if you buy a piece of merch that I'll actually put like $100 bill in the merch. So people spend insane amounts of money on the merch, hoping that there'll be money in the merch that they buy. You see? So it is. He's right. Previous action, successful campaign. Now we know how to design further campaigns based off of the successful action of the previous campaign. You see? I do feel like I've been distracted. I think we should end this one, and we should continue on with the next video in the next part. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for watching DSP versus the Internet. I'll see you in the next part. That's pretty good. I'll see you tonight, Derek. Have a good night. All right. Shout out to 2 people. Clammy V did a super chat and said, "My king, I have bad sinus congestion for it is winter where I am. You suggest that nasal drip, or should I stick with saline spray?" How could I suggest a nasal drip? A nasal drip is a natural occurring thing that happens in your sinuses that's very bad and annoying and disgusting. I feel like you're misunderstanding what I was saying earlier. And then Jeremiah, thank you for becoming a submissions tier member today. So now, next week, we very well may watch your video on the show. For those who don't know, because you may be newcomers to the show, the way it works is, tonight, like after I'm done with all of my streams, I will make a new community post on the members tab. So it's just for members, okay? If you're an ultra member, you'll see only an ultra members post. If you're a submissions tier, you'll see the submissions tier post. And you can post up your videos there. And that's there all week. And that's where you post up your nominations. And then next week, that's where I pull the nominations and I make these playlists based off of that, okay? Cool. Okay, let's continue. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 77. Thanks for joining me. Let's continue on and see what the next random video is here in our submissions playlist. Are you serious? Could it really be what's wrong with the food pyramid? If it is, we're skipping it. No, it's not. Amazing China in 1917 in color. Oh, really? Look at this. Wow, this is neat. Now, I wonder if this is
footage from 2 fragments of Benjamin Brodsky's 10-reel documentary showing Peking in the 1910s.
Oh.
It is highly interesting material as it shows what China was really like over a century ago in 1917.
What they've done is they probably colorized it. They probably massively upscaled it, right? They probably ran it through AI to try to make it look better and look clean. Was this music playing in the background as he filmed? They're playing this over public speakers or something? There was a local musician standing right next to him playing this with some kind of a Chinese instrument. Very nice music.
It should be noted that the film was shot only about 16 years after the ending of the Boxer Uprising from 1899 to 1901 and 6 years after the Chinese Revolution of October 1911, during which a group of revolutionaries in southern China led a successful revolt against the Qing dynasty. This led to the establishment of the Republic of China, which ended the imperial system.
Kind of empty, right? Not a lot of people walking around. It's huge, like a huge area, but no one's moving. But I wonder if that's realistic or if this is just a result of the film. Like, I don't know how the technology works. No, because there's people moving right there, actually. Huh. What is that, some kind of a carriage that's being moved there? I'm trying to tell what that is in the middle. I can't really make it out.
Many scenes in the film show that at the time, China hardly had changed over 1,000 years. Life follows its course almost full-time on the streets. We see everyday life with many people executing their skills and trades, children playing, artists and acrobats performing their tricks, processions, a funeral, great glimpses of the Forbidden Palace, and more.
Wow.
Text cards explain what is happening in each scene. Now please watch this film without further commentary.
The American Minister. Oh, wow. Look at this. Up close. You can see the technology wasn't great. Look at their faces. Their faces are all distorted, look like masks, right? But that's because of the technology. Even the American guy, you tell the AI. Yeah, the AI, what they did, they ran this shit through AI to make it look better. And the AI fucked it all up. Neat. It's neat to get... Oh, excuse me. He said without further commentary. I gotta clam up. I'm not supposed to be talking right now. Well, luckily I don't work for this guy. Rick888, whatever the hell his name is. Tough shit. Look at that. Oh, is that called a rickshaw? Is that what those are called? Where the person's the passenger and someone runs and pulls it. I think it's called a rickshaw, maybe? These are cool, man. It makes you feel like you're there, right? It makes you feel like you're really walking down the street. Fascinating. No cars back then in China. What they carry? Oh, I want to see what they were carrying. Then they changed the scene. Nice music. All right, it was fascinating. I'm not going to watch more than that, though. That was good. Interesting. Like a moment in history, right? Well, all those people. Oh, tons of people going in and out there. Okay, let's see what's next. What the hell is this?
So many new food menu options, right? You guys talk about
Ding dong
listening to the crowd, what they want. For you, how do you take those recommendations and get inspired to do these type of flavors? I mean, hot Cheetos and even cotton candy.
2024 Arizona Cardinals season, new menu options at the State Farm Stadium. I wonder what would be like disgusting food, right? Like really gross.
On the menu.
Oh yeah.
Cheetos. Okay, what is the infatuation with people putting Cheetos into everything? All right? Cheetos to me were like, when I was a kid, yeah, a lot of kids liked them. I think they're okay. But for me, I prefer like the cheese puffs that have like, you know, more air to them. They seem to have more flavor, right? And Cheetos are okay if you like a hard crunch. They're just not great. But now it's like they have Cheetos flavored mac and cheese. They have Cheetos crumbles that you can put on anything. They have Cheetos flavored taco shell. They have, no lie, my wife and I sometimes get poke bowls from a local restaurant. They do poke bowls, which is like a deconstructed sushi dish. And in the ingredients you can get for the poke bowl, they have Cheetos crumbles. No, I'm not going to pay you like $18 for a bowl of raw fish and a bunch of tasty veggies and sauce and then put fucking Cheetos on it. It's like, Cheetos is like bottom of the barrel discount shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why do I want Cheetos in it? So when did Cheetos become a gourmet food ingredient? And by the way, I'm curious if this guy, what training this guy has. He thought that Cheetos was a good idea for the menu. Let's see.
Yeah, the cotton candy burrito is amazing. It's something I actually saw in Las Vegas.
The what? The cotton candy burrito? Are they sure this guy is really a chef? I think this guy might be pulling a prank. Like he walked in off the street. Like remember earlier we saw the guy who made the fake road sign? I think this guy might be impersonating a chef. And he walked in. He's like, yeah, I got all these accreditations. Let me make the menu. Cheetos in your food. Cotton candy burrito. Right? All right, let's see here.
Vegas, and I said I have to do that.
All right.
It really gets a lot of attention. It's fun. It's cotton candy ice cream, superhero ice cream.
Oh
all
God!
kinds of candy.
Oh God! They're gonna sell that to people at an arena for sports games? Are you for real? That is fucking disgusting. That looks like what the unicorn shits out. Give her a pill, and that's it, because you're just going to waste our time. Fuck. Would you want to eat that? Look at that. It's like M&M's, Fruit Loops, sprinkles, like goo. Like there's goo coming out, and it's all inside of a wrapped, it's cotton candy. So you know when you go to eat it, it's your whole hand's completely sticky. You bite it, and it just squirts all over your face and dribbling down your face of pieces of food. I think there's popcorn in there too, right? Like that's what you torture someone by forcing them to eat that, right? Like the spies, like you capture a spy and you need to get the information out of them for your government. You force feed that. You shove it down their throat. Like who would pay to eat that? That's disgusting, man.
And cereals and marshmallows stuffed in the middle of it.
There you go. It's a Oompa Loompa turd. It's a Smurf penis. Wow. I wouldn't go far to say that a Smurf's penis is filled with candy pieces. I wouldn't want to know about that. A Oompa Loompa turd, maybe.
It's rolled up in cotton candy like a burrito and then sliced. I think people are really going to enjoy that one.
Wow,
so let me ask you this new season with this full new roster, who's going to be your rookie of the year?
I have several of them vying for it right now. I really have a good crew down there in the kitchen.
And from the menu items, what is a must-have that families have to grab?
Why is it that when she talks, she has to go like this with her hands, like she's doing some kind of performative art to ask a simple question about the ugly, disgusting food? What is she doing? It's the most overacting I've ever seen. What is she doing?
I think must-have, I think you have to try that. We also have a meatball hoagie on a stick. So that is 2 meatballs wrapped, and then the hoagie dough is wrapped into it.
What? No, come on. This has got to be a joke. This can't be real. First, we had the Oompa Loompa turd. Tell me what that looks like. That looks like 2 roasted balls, 2 roasted like bear or bull's balls with a curved dick between the 2 balls. Come on, dude. Are you kidding me? This is what we came up with? No, this is fake. This guy is fake. He's not a real chef. He literally came up with this shit because he's a fucking weirdo. He walked in and they believed him because they're morons. The girl wanted to get his resume, but she was like trying to grab it, but she was doing her performative dance, so she couldn't get the resume, so she just believed him. What is going on?
And then we bake the whole thing, and then it's served with a sundae sauce, like a tomato basil sauce. That's really
You're
delicious.
You're gonna put sauce on that? How do you eat it?
Chicken and waffle sandwich is amazing. On the club level area.
Whoa. How do you eat this? How do you eat this? It's 2 waffles with a piece of fried chicken between. You slathered the waffles with maple syrup. So how do you eat it? The moment you touch it, your entire hand is now covered in sticky maple syrup. And to make matters worse, you're in the middle of a stadium. This isn't you eating it at a restaurant where you can ask for napkins. There's no napkins. So what's going to happen? You get that, you eat it, and you go wipe it on everything. The seats are going to be covered in that shit. The toilets are going to be covered in that shit. You probably just turn to someone and just wipe it down their back when they're not looking. What the fuck are you doing? I'm not saying that wouldn't taste good. It probably would. I think that's a fried pickle on top. Personally, I've had a fried pickle before. I think they're actually quite tasty. But I don't know why you would sell that in a sports stadium. Right? Sports stadium, you want handheld foods. A burger, a hot dog, something on a stick you eat off the skewer. You know what I mean? Like things that are easy to eat. How do you tell me that's easy to eat? What do they even give you to have that? Is they put it on a plate? Like that's a glass plate. They're not going to hand the customer the glass plate, right? This is fucking bizarre.
Waffle sandwich is amazing. On the club level areas, we have
amazing.
The Southwest chicken to
It's amazing they paid you to make this menu. Like
keto, which is a 12-inch long taquito. That's
a 12-inch long. Are we seeing a pattern here? First, it was the Oompa Loompa turd or the Smurf dong. Then we had the big curvy bull penis between 2 balls, and now we've got the foot-long taquito. Why are they all? This has got to be a joke. Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. I'll be honest, that looks pretty good. Like, that looks like it has a crust on it that probably has some seasoning. It tastes good. You got to be careful it's not smoking hot. You bite it and you burn your whole mouth out.
Of course, the cotton candy burrito I talked about. We have a Ben's pretzel stand on club level now. One of the things I think is really fun is our Ben's pretzel avocado smash.
Ben's Pretzel Avocado Smash. Avocado, local tomatoes, Persian cucumbers. What? Persian cucumbers? The fuck does that even mean? You got them from Persia? Who would care? Pickled red, I can't read, it's blocked. Pickled red something. Candied jalapenos, micro herbs, and an olive oil dressing. What the fuck is this? So it's all veggie. There's no meat. It's like, it would be vegetarian, except they would never eat that because they would say it's not gluten-free. So they wouldn't eat that. So there's not even a point to having it because they're not going to like that. They're going to complain it's not gluten-free, right?
That's a fun one, and that's vegan as well.
If you talk about vegan, gluten-free, what does it mean to have these options available for the crowd now?
What does it mean to have these options available for the crowd now? What are you... They're going to tie her hands behind her back when she talks. See what she does. Maybe she'd struggle. So, what is it like to have these gluten-free options on your menu?
I think they really appreciate it. I know, believe it or not, my wife is vegan, so I know if we go out to eat somewhere, I always want to make sure we go somewhere that...
Your wife is vegan because you cook for her and she don't want to eat that shit.
Get insurance that offers protection from inland flooding. Visit squareone.ca now.
Part again. We're getting near the end of the show, actually. I think the next part will actually be the last part. Let's see what's next.
The fat acceptance movement, also known as fat pride, fat empowerment, and fat activism, is a social movement which seeks to eliminate the social stigma of fatness from social attitudes by pointing out the social obstacles which are faced by fat people to the general public. While many people in this group have determined and spread through social media that obesity is not as bad as we have always thought, or that science has proven.
Bad AI voice, you can hear it's cutting into itself. Like, that's not good. AI voiceovers can be done well. This is a poor one because it's cutting. It's not even finishing its statement and starting another one, right?
Many have embraced the word fat and deemed the word obese to now be a slur. Many won't even say the word in their homes.
Said to me, well, have you eaten? And I said, yeah, I had some pizza earlier. And they said, you need to eat something like a bit more healthy. Now, there are a few words that I don't allow when somebody comes into my house, and healthy is one of them.
In fact, the NAAFA...
I don't let people say the word healthy. Are you a virgin? Like, do you have an aversion to health? What? What? At this point, are we just going to take every word that scares you and just take it away? What? I mean, I don't say healthy, okay? Wow. I mean, that's insane. Like, that's just, how do you run from reality, right? I can't face any kind of reality or repercussions for any of my actions my whole life, so I just ban the words outright, so that way we don't have to mention them. Right? Like, okay, wow, that sounds like a way to go through life, doesn't it?
The National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, which was started by a white man who actually had a fetish for oversized women and started the group to bring acceptance to him and his in hopes less people would make fun of him for his choice of women. Well, in 2022, it's ran by women, fat women. Let me just read a little bit of their philosophy. The NAAFA have contested society's stubborn generalization that associates fatness with disease and poor health outcomes, and push back against the assumption that fat people have little regard for themselves or their own well-being. They argue that thinking about obesity as a disease or medical risk, such as having severe effects from COVID-19, contributes to the stigma because it positions larger bodies as drains on an already taxed healthcare system. To sum that up, they don't like that the numbers show, factual numbers by the way, show that being obese causes taxpayers more money. They also do not like that fatness, or obesity, is connected to disease and poor health, because it makes them feel bad. I shall read on. The NAAFA mobilizes the term, in quotes, fat, in its fight against weight discrimination and fat phobia in all aspects of life, including in employment, healthcare, and education. Similarly, as social scientists, we use the term fat rather than the deeply problematic medical term obesity, which causes harm to people under the guise of benign objectivity. These groups, and what I have shown you on this channel many times of the fat activists on TikTok saying the word obese causes harm, but interestingly enough, they never talk about the harm that obesity causes. I mean, how could they? Many of them do not even believe in science when it proves obesity comes with risks. Burgess Hovar, who I'm making a video of later, has said if science does not satisfy over 60% of the population who are obese, then we should just boot it out the window. This was said in her interview with Ulta Beauty, titled The Beauty of Fatness. We now have doctors that are telling us that obesity is just a myth and has absolutely no health risks. We have doctors who write books titled Health at every size, where they say obesity can be completely healthy. Bloggers saying there is no such thing as healthy food, everything's created equal, and we should never let these white males stop us from living our lives with their racial BMI chart. Well, do you know what is starting to bring some of these fat activists down? No, it's not the use of the word obesity, it's heart attacks and heart complications. Yes, and many of these fat activists are staying silent, looking the other way and continuing to perpetuate this disgusting movement started by men that wanted to get their hard. That obesity is perfectly healthy. And honestly, it pisses me off. I will be focusing on—
So it's not AI. I thought it was AI, it's just her cuts were bad with her voiceover. Okay.
two women that were part of this movement of we should just accept obesity. Two women that I feel glorified it, at least one glorified it and changed. And two women who are now sadly no longer with us.
Wow,
two
they
women
died?
that express their opinions in different ways, but I have different opinions on each one. Let's start. If you ever go down the weird lane of fat talk on TikTok, you will find there are many very young fat talkers who are dancing around expressing how obesity has not hindered their life.
Face of what most of us tend to believe and what our common sense maybe even tells us. But I think that the science isn't actually as clear-cut as we like to believe, and there's not really quite a consensus yet about the real relationship between weight and health.
Fat studies scholar at Massey University in Palmerston North. Her research and activism attracted controversy, and in these people's opinions, bullying from people who would constantly say, stop spreading the message that obesity is a positive condition, but she wouldn't listen. Steven Crowder, a political commentator mostly known as the Change My Mind guy, where he sets up a booth and asks people to change his mind about controversial topics.
I actually didn't even know that was Steven Crowder. I had no clue that was Steven Crowder in that meme this whole time.
Actually infiltrated a fat studies conference at Massey University. His experiment was to see if these people are so accepting to everything stupid. He decided to write a paper, say a few trigger words, and hopefully be accepted in this community. So he dressed up in a fat suit, slapped on a wig, and wrote a bogus paper to hopefully be accepted into the fat studies conference, based on a poorly written, full of trigger words paper. And of course, he had to have the Pikachu cup and the Trump/Pence must go ornaments in the back to really sell to them and gain their acceptance. And he did. They absolutely loved his video essay.
And I knew that largely because of my fat, I was guaranteed at least a certain amount of space. You may believe, wrongly as many people do, that fat is a threat to your life. But I would argue that—
I'm staying quiet because I'm just absorbing it all. I do have something that I'm going to say. I'm just going to watch a little bit more. We're not going to watch the whole video. Watch a little bit more, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts, okay?
In many ways, it may save your life. I used to feel guilty about eating certain foods or drinking certain soft drinks, but I don't. I don't anymore. Every scoop of Ben & Jerry's, or whatever your preferred food may be, I would like to see it restructured, and it should be seen as an act of resistance, not only against homophobia, but against fat phobia.
And guess whose fat studies conference this was? That's right, Kat Pazé, the woman who would rather have people feel beautiful than know the realities of obesity. A woman who dedicated her whole career to keep people under the impression that obesity is a good thing. A few weeks later, after Crowder's show aired, Dr. Pazé passed away. They did not release the cause of death, but they said medical condition, which many are theorizing that it was an obese related issue, but they don't want the exact cause getting out because of the work that she did. And many
Exactly, because if she was an activist for obesity acceptance, and then it comes out she died because she was medically obese, and it was a health complication because of that, obviously it's going to try to be contradictory towards everything that she's ever said or taught, right? Here's the thing, all right? For some reason, we are in the era of trying to flip everything to the absolute extreme, okay? Things that used to be considered taboo or awful or bad now have to be completely flipped and say that they are all incredibly good, acceptable, and great, and now need to be prominent and forced to the forefront. Okay, there's many different examples of this, and I could go through them all day, but let's focus on the one here that we're going to talk about, obesity. Okay, here's what I feel. I feel that people who were obese, okay, which I'm going to say because it's a word, it's not an offensive slur, it's a word describing the body weight of someone. Okay, I'm considered slightly obese because I'm 200 pounds and I'm 5'11", 5'11". It's okay. I accept that description. I think it's accurate. I do have pounds around me here that I could lose, and I could become more healthy and skinny, right? I'm not offended by the term. It's just acceptance of your limitations as a human, your shortcomings, and just like if you say, yeah, he's losing some hair. Yes, I am. Okay. I'm not offended by that. Okay, some people are though. They can't take it when you tell them that there's something that's not peak about them, right? They can't take a criticism, all right? Now, in regards to obese people, okay, what I can say is thus. For a long time, I think there was this very over-the-top stigma against obese people, that they were not attractive, that they were not healthy, and that they were basically lazy bums, right? The reason that that person is overweight is probably because they sit around all day doing absolutely nothing but stuffing their face with bad junk foods. They don't work out. They probably drink soda, all this bad stuff. It's their fault, 100%, and shame on them, right? I think that was a stigma. That was something that was very much public association. In fact, when you take a look at market research and things about advertisement, the advertisement would always be the skinny, healthy person. It would never be an obese person that would be on that ad. It would just be the skinny model, right? That's who they want advertising the product. And because of that, an entire, grouping of people who are obese or considered obese felt left out. There's no clothes that are really made for me of a certain style. There's really no way for me to do certain activities. I'm left out of any kind of fun just because I'm overweight. Now, a couple things about that. Number one, there's different reasons why people could be overweight. And not all of them are, oh, I'm a lazy bum who sits around stuffing my face all day. There's actually serious medical conditions that can cause you to be overweight. And it's not anything that you did. It's just something that your body has essentially wrong with it. And there's ways that you could deal with that, like medications and stuff. And other times you just can't help it. All right? I know because I know people like that. And it's sad because then people give them a negative association, but they didn't ask for that. In fact, a lot of these people, they eat healthy. They can't help it. They just gain weight, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's every case. I'm saying that's some of the cases of people who are considered obese or overweight. Is it fair to them that now they be treated with this negative stigma that they're a lazy schlub who just sits around stuffing their face with Doritos? Of course not. But that's sadly what that kind of feeling was, all right? So here's the thing. I am all for acceptance, and I am all for making it acceptable to understand that you should not be making fun of someone just because they are not what's considered the norm or that they're different. If you're overweight and you feel self-conscious, it's probably because a bunch of people in your life have told you that you're fat and insulted you for it, right? Right? And if people didn't do that, then that's good. I don't think that anyone should be isolated or treated with disrespect or insults because of their physical appearance, okay? You never know what the reason is that someone looks the way they do, right? It's not some people, it's not their fault. So it shouldn't be. So is there acceptance? Should there be acceptance of people who are overweight? Yeah, everyone has a right, okay? Everyone has a right in order to live their life and be happy. And they shouldn't be derided and made fun of and attacked just for that, okay? However, there's a difference between acceptance and outright normalization and lying to change the narrative to something that's factually untrue. If you are obese, you are unhealthy for a medical definition. This is not a, oh, I made it up, social stigma, judgmental, making fun of you. This is a scientific designation. We have to stop with the, oh, I'm sorry that science insults you or hurts your feelings, okay? At some point, someone has to speak up for everyone and say, listen, understand that a lot of things in life can make you upset. So there's some people who are never going to grow up enough to understand that you need to tough through the things that make you upset to survive and exist. Some people just can't handle it, right? That's sad, but that doesn't mean that a society now has to change for you and normalize things that actually are not scientifically good. You know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to change the narrative in order to make it that being overweight is healthy. No, it is not. It is not. There is no evidence whatsoever, scientific or otherwise, that being overweight is healthy. It has insane amounts of increased risk of so many different medical things. If you could stay at the correct body weight, whatever that is, the body mass index or whatever, BMI, that's what you're going to want to do for your life, to live longer and to have a prosperous, healthy existence on this planet. The time that you have.
That's it, because you're just
I don't think that you're fat. People should go make fun of you. That's messed up. But I also don't think that you should say that you're healthy and misrepresent yourself and now try to glamorize and glorify yourself as something that you're not, because that's harmful. Now, what could end up happening is people think, oh, it's okay to be fat. I'll just eat whatever I want because, hey, no one's going to make fun of me for it. I have no health risk whatsoever. I'll just be, unhealthy for my whole life because, hey, they said it's okay. It's normalized now. And then you'll have people, a big epidemic of people who are unhealthy and having health issues and dying. Is that what you want? Just because your feelings? Because you have feelings. I understand you have feelings. No one should be actively trying to hurt your feelings, but you don't change all of society because a few people are sad because they can't handle reality, right? Everyone at some point has to handle reality. You can't live in a fantasy world of everything's make-believe, change the narrative to be what you want. Because it's not just obesity, it's everything. There's so many things these days that people are doing. Instead of just saying, don't make fun of the person for this, they say, now promote it and act like it's something good. No, being obese is not something good. There is no intelligent scientific person, no doctor on this planet that will say being obese is actually a desirable thing. That's ridiculous, okay? Maybe in some very fringe 0.00001% there is someone who could benefit from it. I'm not sure, but science says no. You don't rewrite science because you have feelings that are sensitive, okay? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to kill all of society. For example, the COVID epidemic, right? A lot of people who passed away during COVID, unfortunately, were overweight because that made them a huge target audience for that illness. And how can you then argue, well, then being overweight is healthy? Oops, except that when a virus breaks out, it could actually target us and kill all of us. It doesn't make sense. What you're saying makes no sense. So now imagine if everyone in the world just decided we're all healthy because we're overweight, and then we get another COVID. So now most of us die just because our feelings? No. This is crazy. Crazy talk. And, people need to wake up. Because, look, here's a fat activist, right, as they're saying, and she's dead now. Why? For what purpose did it serve, right? Nothing. She's gone for no good reason, and it's sad. It's sad that these people can't handle the world around them, and they expect that everything in the world should change. I mean, honestly, what is it? It's kind of like, it's very egotistical now. Oh, well, my feelings have been hurt, so therefore the world must change for me. Why? Why are you more important than everybody else? And I understand it's kind of the opposite. Before, you were the one who was derided. You were the one who was made fun of. So now you're trying to turn the table. So now it's the extreme. We have to go from one extreme to the other. Either being obese is absolutely 100% awful, and you tar and feather the obese person, and you ridicule them, and you make their lives miserable, or being obese is absolutely great, and it's pride of it, and big is beautiful, and everyone, it's okay to eat whatever you want. No, neither situation is good. Both extremes are bad. In life, you sometimes have to find that happy medium, where we're not going to destroy the person for being obese, but at the same time, we're going to acknowledge it's not healthy to be obese. That's the middle ground that makes sense for human culture. But these people are so fucking infantile in their brains, they only understand yes and no, right and wrong, good and bad, black and white. There's no in between for them. You stop taking the narrative, because something was negatively seen previous, now we have to make it the most positive thing possible. No, you don't have to do that. You don't. Because it's going to hurt things overall. It's going to hurt society as a whole if you push these false narratives. Okay. Guys, we got one more part of DSP versus the internet coming up for this week. I'll see you for that. All right. What's up, Jasper Kitty? Jasper's been asleep the entire show. He's been in the closet. He just came out for the first time. All right, guys. So the next part will be the finale. I want to say thank you, Spawn Killer, for 17 months as a super member. That's food is for Club for Sweets. So Spawn Killer, you're saying that that was gourmet food for people that were eating it in like the club boxes? Okay. That's still absolutely disgusting. That food is terrible, right? Okay. Let's do it. Last part, guys. Here we go. All right, guys. So this is the conclusion, the DSP versus the internet, episode 77. It's been a great show. I want to thank the audience here, who has been a great audience, nice and interactive and supportive today. Thank you so very much for that. We're going to get to our final videos for the week. In random order, let's see what's next.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Wake Up Right, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little.
Is this going to be... It seems like it's related, doesn't it? No, it's... Oh, it is random order, but it went there and there because it is definitely related. It's a woman who, I guess you're saying she's going to go running and she might be gaining the weight back. I don't know who this woman is. Hope you enjoy my last 1 mile for time of 2022. What does that mean? What? Walking pubs, gaining weight. Thanks, Ritual, for sponsoring. Going shopping, maybe. Why do I care about this? She's a lifestyle vlogger. You are?
What do I do?
I don't care. I really don't give a shit. Sorry, we already watched kind of one. I'm going to the next video.
This is an unfair and discriminatory decision against our athletes. Around the world, we can all see and know very well that there are many different conflicts going on.
The Paris Olympics.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Conflict.
Today we're counting down our picks for the concerns, conflicts, and controversies that have cast a...
By the way, what happened to Watch Mojo, man? Watch Mojo. 25 million subscribers. They can't even get 100,000 views on a video about the Paris Olympics. That's a very pertinent, timely topic. They can't even get 100,000 people out of their 25 million to watch this video, right? How the mighty have fallen. Because I remember there was a time when every video they put out was like a 1 million view video, but they suck. I've seen some of their crap. It's hack job stuff. One time they had a countdown of me. They were saying the most embarrassing Twitch streams ever. And then they showed my embarrassing moment, and I didn't stream on Twitch at the time. So they literally didn't do 2 seconds of research to find out I wasn't a Twitch streamer. So that's the level of stuff that they put out. It's pretty crap. So I wouldn't be surprised if this video is very poorly researched and it's a piece of dog shit. Let's actually just watch a little bit of it.
A long shadow over the 2024 Summer Olympics.
Testosterone is not a perfect test.
That is true. YouTube has been DMCA crazy about the Olympics. You're right. So I'll be careful with this video and I'll be watching and seeing if it's getting claimed.
Many women can have testosterone, which is in what would be called male
So
levels.
they're talking about the boxer, right?
Number 10, Canada women's soccer drone scandal.
Yeah, it feels incredible. I mean, it's been a hard couple days. But right now, all I'm feeling is an immense amount of pride.
Sometimes when you pull on a loose thread, the whole sweater comes undone. That's sort of what happened in the case of the Canada women's soccer team. Scheduled to play New Zealand on July 25th, a major wrench was thrown into those plans when a Canadian-operated drone was spotted observing their rivals practicing a few days ahead of the match.
Bev Priestman asked HR about how to handle the fact that an analyst was uncomfortable cheating. She mentioned that the top 10 teams in the world do it.
It is forbidden to use drones for recording.
What? She mentioned that the top 10 teams in the world do it. So they all fly drones over each other's training camps and spy on each other? Wow, the world of football or soccer is pretty fucked up. They all just cheat? Like, what the hell? Do they have a designated sniper to shoot down the drones of your opposition? Like, is that allowed too? Can you just, like, shoot it right down? Because that's what I would be like, okay, we're going to practice. And they have, like, a team of crack snipers come out, and they start combing the skies for the drones to come out, right? Like, what is going on?
Reporting others without their consent in France. Before long, those involved with the scandal faced a 1-year ban from the sport, along with a host of other consequences for Canada. Number 9. Olympic Village conditions. Even the Olympians themselves were not immune to the chaotic spirit that seemed to surround this iteration of the Summer Games. Although a futuristic water-based cooling system was proposed as an alternative to air conditioning, it quickly became clear that more intense measures would be required in what is reportedly the hottest games ever on record.
Our short-term responsibility to give to high-performance athletes the best condition in order to perform, and
we realize that we are fucked up. We did not do what we should have done because that would have been common sense. A water-based cooling system during the Olympics. That sounds really smart. Let me tell you, we don't have decades of documented research to say that air conditioning is the best way to deal with heat. We're going to try something truly different and revolutionary, right, during the Olympics, when these athletes have everything on the line. Their entire lives, they've been practicing and waiting to perform on the world stage and possibly become a medal-adorning champion, representing their country. This is the moment of their lives they will remember forever. And then they go to their dorm room, and you gave them a little sprinkler to cool down instead of fucking air conditioning because you cheaped out because you're a bunch of fucking morons.
that's the reason why we've
Wow.
offered them the opportunity to rent temporary AC.
As the temperature rose, though, the organizing committee acquiesced to providing athletes with air conditioners for a price. This created a clash of classes, so to speak. Critics deemed the system unfair to participating countries who were unable to afford the extra cost. Number 8, The Last Supper.
Really, there
Oh,
was
we know about this.
Never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group.
In a general
Except you
sense,
did.
Olympics opening ceremonies are meant to not only celebrate that year's host country and what their unique culture has to offer the Games, but the Games themselves, as well as participating athletes. In 2024, though, these sentiments were overshadowed by culture war fallout. Festivité, one segment of the opening ceremony which featured drag queens in a scene reminiscent of Da Vinci's The Last Supper, came under heavy fire from France's right wing. The Bishops' Conference of France referred to Festivité as a, quote, derision and mockery of Christianity.
Ma volonté n'est pas d'être subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de choquer.
Yes, you did. That's exactly what he was doing. He was trying to be shocking and say, well, that's what we are. We're all big artists out here in France, in Paris, right? That's exactly what he was doing. So he outright lied. So I didn't know he came out and said this. He's an asshole. 100%. Only one of the scenes was supposed to be a parody of The Last Supper. There were many other scenes as well that were supposed to be other things that weren't The Last Supper. But he absolutely parodied The Last Supper. And then everyone called him on it, and then he becomes a pussy. A bunch of French people being pussies. Well, that's something very unique. It's never happened before, right?
Okay. Ma volonté est simplement de dire que nous sommes ce grand nous.
The Paris 2024 organizing committee defended the segment, and
What a
Barbara
moron.
Butch, who appeared in the scene, is reported to have contacted French legal authorities in response to the online hate campaign.
En France, on a le droit de s'aimer.
Yes. Yes, contact the legal authorities for online bullying. That sounds like a good idea. That always works, right? Let me tell you. When Doody makes a video about me, I call the FBI. And they're right on the case.
On veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers la...
If the games are not about you, the Olympic Games are supposed to show worldwide unity and how the spirit of competition. Now, hey, look how fucking weird we are in France. We can parody The Last Supper. We don't give a fuck because here we're not offended by anything, right? Well, it's a worldwide stage. It's not just you. I understand, like for example, the Beijing Games, right? They open the Beijing Games, and here's China representing who they are. Now, not a lot of people like China, and that's okay. They don't like the way the government's run. But they're showing, look, here's all these trained people doing giant instruments and things, being orchestrated things. It looks amazing. People on the world stage are like, whoa, that's what China represents. Got it. He puts out this show he knows is going to be offensive to a lot of people. What he's basically saying is, hey, in France, we don't give a fuck about what you think, fuck you. So he literally could have just actually had the opening games been a big middle finger, and if that's really what he wanted to do, that's okay. I mean, seriously, I'm okay with that. That's freedom of speech. If literally France wants to say, fuck you, world, we don't care what you think, we do what we want, then go ahead and do that. But here he is, being a pussy. Oh, I didn't mean that. That's not what... Yes, you did. We know what you meant. It was pretty blatantly clear what you meant. I don't personally find offense at what he did. I don't. I really don't. But then don't lie about it later because the world had backlash against you. That's called, you put your tail between your legs, you crawled out, and you cried like a sissy. A sissy.
Number 7. World Aquatics Athletics ban.
This is by far the toughest restriction against transgender athletes. Swimming's International Governing Board saying they consulted with scientists and policymakers and voted to essentially ban trans swimmers from elite competitions, including the Olympics.
Historically a thorny, contentious issue in the world of sport, controversy inevitably followed when, in 2022, World Aquatics forbade the participation of transgender women. In 2023, World Athletics followed suit. Writing for Science, a peer-reviewed journal, researchers Eric Villain and Joanna Harper found that trans women bore demonstrably little physical advantage over their cisgender peers.
All I'm going to say is this. All I'm going to say is this. It's all or nothing. And here's what I mean by that. If you're going to allow trans people to do athletics like this, like in the Olympics, okay, then there just cannot be a gender barrier at all. It just has to be everyone competes against each other. Men, women, trans, everything. Then there's no reason to complain because no one has an unfair advantage, right? 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 But that's the thing. People don't want to do that. They don't want to say, hey, everyone competes against each other. They still want to have the categories of men and women, but that's what causes the problem. So it's either you're going to have your categories, which are based on scientific data stating that men should compete with men and women should compete with women, or you're going to have everyone at once. You can't have it split where somehow now someone might have an unfair advantage. That's where the problem is coming in, right? So go ahead, make sports completely based on nothing gender whatsoever. Everyone competes against each other, right? Someone actually just made an interesting suggestion. Why not just make it weight classed? I could see that. Why not make it weight classed? So it doesn't matter what your gender is. If you're weight classed this way, you're with this group. If you're weight classed this way, you're with this group. I'd be fascinated to see what would happen. Maybe we would have some women who would be like faster than men. Maybe we'd have some women who actually are smarter and tougher than men and could beat the shit out of them in some of these competitive sports, right? Maybe we would. I don't know. I honestly think that would be more interesting than this controversy that I don't care about. These fucking people who complain because they're trans and they can't be in the Olympics, but we know that would mean that they would probably have an unfair advantage. The problem isn't that you're trans. The problem is that we have the gender categories for a reason. If you put men versus women, men will likely win almost the whole time. So that's why we need to have the gender categories to make it fair. But now you're saying that you're the other gender. I don't care. I'm not offended by that. Go for it. But now you have an unfair advantage. You don't understand that. South Park parodied this a zillion years ago. Remember with the Special Olympics, and Cartman entered the Special Olympics not having any kind of disability, pretending like he did so he could win the Special Olympics. Why do you want that to do? I don't understand. I'm lost. I'm really lost at this debate. It's such a common sense debate. If you're saying that we ever had gender groups, it's discriminatory, then get rid of the gender groups. It's either we have them for a reason or we don't. If there's no reason to have them, then get rid of them and everyone competes against each other and then it's fair. Just do weight-based, right? I just feel like this is nonsense. I'm sorry. This whole debate is bullshit. I'm tired of the bullshit. Everyone's got to make everything into bullshit and drama over nothing. When common sense prevails, if anyone just had a fucking common sense mindset, all of these issues would not exist, right? But I think with people just got to make it an issue so that way I can get on camera and we can talk about it. We can have 500 people commentating about it and we can make money on it because it's controversial and it's risque and shit. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Common sense. Whatever happened to it? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm getting kind of bored of this video now. I want to go to at least one or two more before we adjourn the show. So let's see what's next.
Oh, the food pyramid. Quite possibly the...
We already saw that. Let's go to the next one.
Dreams can be beautiful, but we all have to wake up eventually.
Guys, I'm sad because this one is probably something I'd be interested in. But sadly, guys, it's 35 minutes long. I can't watch a 35-minute long video on a clip show. So whoever submitted this, sorry. Maybe a good topic for a long-form react. I can't watch 35 minutes on a clip show. That was a bad submission.
All good things must...
Wait a minute. Did we get kicked out of the playlist? We got kicked out of the fucking playlist. No one submitted that video.
Oh, the food pyramid. Quite
because the stupid food pyramid did it again and ended the playlist. All right. Let me look for 1 or 2 more videos I want to watch for the end of this show. Let's see. And they have to be short. Let's see. Every political ad, I didn't see that. Short. Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League lost a lot of money. Let's see how much money
Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League was not a victory lap for WB Games and DC Comics. Instead, it was a major flop, and we recently heard reports on how much money the project lost. And, well, get ready to talk about a $200 million loss.
I believe that. I totally believe that with the cost of development of these games today, which is so overinflated.
WB's Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League has reportedly lost $200 million. Now, some people are going to ask how, because that's not possible, and we're going to have to take a little bit of a step back and talk about what all contributes to this. So the entire time after they finished Arkham Knight, they were working on multiple different projects and video games that all got canceled. Those all contribute to the R&D for this project because
that's kind of dumb. They're attributing the development cost and R&D to games that never existed to this project. Why? That's a really dumb way to do it. You know why? Because probably now this becomes like a giant loss for them, but it allows them to probably get away with stuff. Like, they could write it off on taxes and shit. Oh, look, our company took a giant loss. But it's not true. They spin it that way because legally they could say it, but in reality it wasn't, right?
We used assets and, well, you know, things that were created to roll them into this project that were leftovers. So that all contributes. But on top of this, they were making a live service game. And these live service games typically have a much higher associated cost with development because the end goal is we can spend a lot more, but people are going to play this daily. So when we add new characters, the season pass, unlockables, instead of grinding for it, people will just go, you know what, I'll give them $15 to unlock the Joker early instead of playing for 120 hours so I can just get them right now, and then I'll grind away on the costumes. Oh wait, there's a cash drop this week. If I just drop $8, I can unlock this outfit that's limited time and it's never going to be back. You know, the Call of Duty tactics and things like that. So, FOMO, fear of missing out. They were hoping to capitalize on it. But here's what happened. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. It's kind of appropriate for this game, I guess, right? And they just belched it out and I just belched out for no reason. Yeah, I'm keeping that in there. I'm not deleting that. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Either way, though, you know, they were associating this game with huge...
It's a man after my own heart right there.
Huge success and thinking, people are going to log in daily. They're going to buy all this stuff. We're putting this on as many consoles as we can. It's Rocksteady. People will show up just by the virtue of the name, you know? They were using the good old Bethesda charm approach, where they're like, hey, look, the game is broken 6 months before release, but don't worry. Once the Bethesda charm kicks in, people are just going to... It's just going to be shaping up to be something great in the final stretch of development, and people aren't going to complain because, well, everybody loves always online multiplayer games. That's what the industry's saying. They missed the boat. They missed the entire point. They missed everything, and they're losing a lot of money. And reportedly, the budget for this game is so astronomical that we don't even know what it is. It might be one of the most expensive games ever made, and if it lost 200 mil, it's definitely...
Well, he didn't really have much to add, except I know the amount is shocking. $200 million, like they were actually expecting to make that much money on that game? I don't know. All right, last video for the week. Looking for a short one. I guess we'll watch this one. Deadpool and Wolverine's Secret Super Mario cameo.
What's that?
Now this shocks me. Ah, stupid multiverse.
Ooh, is this a Minecraft? Because the virginity as well, you know, it's palpable.
Get the f off me.
Hello?
Oh my god, Captain Lou Albano. I'm a huge fan, sir.
It's me, Mario. Are you guys here to save the princess?
Is that slang for cocaine? Because if so, then yes.
No,
I'm kidding, Bob Hoskins. No, me and my compadre here. Easy there, buddy. We're just trying to get back home. We have a huge third act fight and a nondescript wasteland to get to.
Oh, okay. Well, let me show you around a little bit and see if I can help.
Well, aren't you a helpful player one? I like your red overalls, too. Is that so bad guys can't see you bleed?
No, it mostly just helps hide the spaghetti sauce. Yes, they'll get you every time.
Haha, stereotypes. Hey, too tall to be comic book accurate Logan.
Not funny at all. It's really bad writing. Like, the jokes are just not funny. Now, I didn't see Deadpool and Wolverine, so I don't know if that's the kind of comedy they had the whole movie. But that writing is terrible. I'm not laughing at all. I'm not even cracked a smile. Right? It's a shame. The animation's nice. But the comedy is not. The comedy is quite bad. So, I guess we're going to call it here. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed DSP versus the internet for this week. Just to give you a rundown here. So we saw, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We saw 9 out of the 19 submission vids. About 50% of them got watched. That's not bad. That's a pretty good ratio, I would say. If you become a submission member, you'll be able to submit the videos for next week's show. And remember, if you become an Ultra member, you're guaranteed to have your videos watched. That was the whole first segment of the show. Okay, guys? So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching DSP versus the internet. I will see you next week. It should be on Sunday next week, I think. Which would be the 18th. But I'll let you know, because obviously there's been a lot of other stuff going on around here, if you haven't noticed, the other content and stuff, and depending on scheduling and everything. It may be Monday again, but we'll see. I'm going to try to aim for Sunday and go from there. You'll see the new stream set up for those who are members now, because I know we have a lot of new members who are going to submit videos. The community posts to do so will go live later tonight on the community tab of this channel. That's where you post up your videos for next week. Okay, and you'll see the instructions there too. It'll explain the criteria. All right, guys, thank you. Great show this week. I had fun. Hope you did too. See you next time. All right. Cool. That was fun, guys. I had a good time with that. I hope you guys did too. And that really worked well with the PC setup here. I was able to skim through the videos better. The quality was better. We actually got random video order. That was nice. So moving forward, using this fully, we're going to do it tonight for the throwback. So by the way, as we're about to adjourn here, yes, what's going to happen is the stream will end and then it will toss you guys over a link to go to DSP Throwback if you're interested. But that stream will not start until 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, FYI. So if you don't want to sit there for 2.5 hours, you probably want to go do something else. But at least then you'll have the link to head over there and check it out if you're interested. All right, what we're doing tonight is we are going to do a react to my original ever exploration of the PS Home on PlayStation 3. That will be pretty fun, okay? Also, I do want to say, shout out to Boudreaux, who did a super chat and said TDD, Total Detractor Death. There you go. And thank you to Doppler Radar for a $2 super chat. I appreciate all of your support today. Today was actually a pretty well-supported stream. Honestly, I don't get a lot of support usually for this show, and to see that people super chatted and became members and tipped is nice, so I appreciate that, guys. Okay? All right, everyone. Thank you so very much. See you tonight for PS Home over on DSP Throwback. If not, tomorrow I'll be on DSP Gaming all day. We'll be doing Nintendo World Championships and Street Fighter 6. All right? Thank you guys. Have a good evening or a good afternoon, and I'll see you tonight. Peace out.